All right, bro, I've never done these types of videos, but I thought this had gained enough traction to the point where it felt necessary, and it's just insane to me. So the other day, I was strolling, just taking a nice little day stroll on Twitter. You know, that such thing doesn't really exist because it's never a nice time on that. Can you mind? It's never a nice time on that platform, but you know, I was. And since I've been getting really close to catching up on One Piece, and I'm very, 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 very close now, I've been getting it more on my feed despite the fact that I have quite literally every word related to One Piece muted, so somehow this slipped through. What came across my timeline was this tweet right here by Day that said maybe Doflamingo wasn't a bad guy. Again, the word Doflamingo's muted on Twitter, so don't know how it slipped through. It's a great platform. Anyways, the photos attached to this tweet are him cheersing people, saving a bird, I guess giving a bird a band-aid, and teaching Law how to read. And funnily enough, the first response to this tweet, or the highest response, is somebody actually responding with a list of his war crimes that include patricide, I don't even know what that is, fratricide, still don't even know what that is, mass murder, genocide, piracy, slavery, torture. But you want to tell me that this was just the doings of society, and society's to blame for this long list of crimes. Now, this isn't where our story begins. Our story begins when I decided to quote tweet this tweet with just one of many examples as to why Doflamingo was a bad guy. Now, this might be my fault because maybe it's not the prime example, but it's a very early example in his life where I said bro murdered his own father for trying to make a better life for him, dog. What? And then it's the picture of young kid Doflamingo, flintlock pistol pointed right at his papa's casa. This tweet is up to 28,000 likes, which I don't know if that means you agree or disagree. But the concerning thing is 284 replies and 1,500 quote tweets. Now, some of these may just be reposts, but 1,500 people, with the large majority of them disagreeing with me about Doflamingo being a bad person. Now, I won't say all of them are. A lot of them are about just how stupid his father is, which we're going to get into. But yeah, a lot of people that just, better life. I'd pull the trigger on that man too. Better life, crash out justified. Like I said, people saying that, hey, if I were young Doflamingo, would have shot my dad too. Hey, wouldn't have regretted it either. So before we get into all the replies and why people are wrong here and why it's actually insane that there's like over 1,000+ people that say Doflamingo was justified murdering his father, let's take a stroll over to Don Quixote Homing's Wikipedia page. Now, if you're not as familiar or you need a little refresher on everything that happened, Don Quixote Homing was a celestial dragon, and as you know in One Piece, celestial dragons think they are above humanity, they're better than commoners, they own slaves, they mistreat those below them, they're just kind of terrible. Now, that's not to say that all celestial dragons are created equal. Some of them are better than others and have sort of a sense of humanity and recognition of their sort of status, but a large majority of them, yeah, just terrible. And again, to refresh you, Don Quixote Homing realized that he did not belong amongst the celestial dragons. He didn't agree with their outlook on regular people, and he wanted his family to grow up normal and not turn into, you know, slave owners, terrible people. So he decided to try to take his family and leave Marie Joy, the land of the celestial dragons, and live amongst just regular people. But this meant that they were virtually starting all over, starting from scratch, $0 to your name. Like, you don't just leave the celestial dragon world with all that you have and you're just like, I'm gonna go live down here with everything that I was kind of like given being a celestial dragon. So they struggled, of course. Now, I will admit defeat on one stance, and that's the fact that Homing definitely underestimated how much they would struggle. He knew that they would be in poverty and that it wouldn't be an easy road in the slightest. That much I agree on. But people are framing it on Twitter like he was like role-playing poverty, or he just wanted to act like a normal guy for a couple days and then go back up. One of the most liked responses to my tweet says, if he did a good job as a parent, his son wouldn't have killed him. He was just another noble playing poor for the fun of it. So you kind of destroy your entire entire argument here saying for the fun of it, because it definitely wasn't for fun. He knew it wouldn't be easy. Whenever they went down and started struggling, he was happy. What was he happy just finding? He was at least appreciative of even the most minor opportunities for his family's safety, as when they found a relatively safe hideout in the junkyard. He felt relieved despite the insect infestations that Doflamingo alone complained about. So no, he obviously knew it was going to be difficult, but it was not for the fun of it. He was committing to this life, trying to start this new path for his family and for his bloodline, not for the rest of them for the eternity to become celestial dragons and turn into these people that see others as lesser. And then again, Rafa decides to be wrong, saying as soon as he faced the reality, he ran back to the celestial dragons. Not for him though. This is, you intentionally leave out this information. He did not run back to the celestial dragons like, please take me back. He literally said, I'll stay down here. Please take my family back. Take my wife and my sons back. I want them to live. He, like I said, obviously underestimated just how hard it would be and just how much they would suffer and just how people would view celestial dragons, because he had such a disjointed view of the world. He didn't know exactly how they viewed celestial dragons. But to say as soon as he faced reality, he ran right back. No, bro. He was prepared to be left behind to reap what he sowed as long as his family remained safe. Like I said, the only point I can concede on is the fact that he was maybe a bit naive about how bad it would be and how people viewed celestial dragons. But you can't actually tell me with a straight face that you think that Homing knew that it would be insane and that they would all die and be basically just burned at the stake, like literally burned at the stake, and that it was just, oh, it was just for a fun day. Both those things cannot be true. The dad's action caused the death of the mother and them being tortured and hung up in front of the public. Who can blame him for thinking his father is the villain? Ultimately, he didn't succeed at that, because in his attempt became a target of abuse out of resentment, got his wife sick to the point of death, and his children crucified out of torture. Doflamingo is villain, yet this arc shows one of the many ways society creates villains. But bro, it's not society like the people, like the commoners. Society is Marie Joy and the celestial dragons that create villains, because they've made this world that is the break between the two that made this entire situation possible. Also, if society creates villains, why did Rosinante not end up like that? Why was Doflamingo so ready to blast Papa? That's why I'm so just baffled by everybody's like, yeah, I would have killed my dad too. No, you wouldn't have. How old was Doflamingo? Like 9? You would have been sucking on your thumb, shitting your diaper just like the rest of us, buddy. Okay, dude. I just kept this one up because we need to leave the Goku bad dad joke behind us. It's so old. Brass Fist, we need new content, buddy. This is the exact same as the Sakura bad thing from Naruto. Can we get some fresh, hot, fun takes that kind of spice things up for once in our lives? I'm getting bored out here. Now, finally, Timfamous responded with some actual wisdom, saying in the replies a bunch of people who didn't watch the Dressrosa arc closely at all. I don't think you even had to watch closely, to be honest. I think it was pretty much on the surface level. I think if you told Oda that people saw Homing as a villain, he would actually start laughing in your face. And if you told Oda that you saw Kid Doflamingo as a rightful, justifiable kid, he would also start laughing in your face. His dad messed up, but Dofi was evil from the jump. His dad was actually nice. Celestial Dragon wanted to live a normal life, naive too, but not a bad guy at all. That's what I'm saying. He was very naive. But I think a large part of that is the way that Celestial Dragons think that the lesser, like, commoners view them. And then for some reason, somebody compared him to Shigaraki, and I don't really know why. Dofi was justified. His dad did not think anything through. He knows what Celestial Dragons do. He, of all people, knows the surface level would not let any of that slide, and he 100% endangered his family for his own ego. At what point does throwing everything away and living in poverty go for your own ego? Did he think they were gonna write in the history books like, yes, Don Quixote Homing was a beautiful, majestic man that made the ultimate sacrifice? No, bro. He never showed a single sign in his entire personality that it was anything for his own good. He only showed humanity and a humble nature. So we're just making stuff up, IH Comics. Their father deserved every bullet. I'd have shot him too if his last words were, "I'm sorry you had a father like me." Abigail, I don't know if you're close to your father, but quite frankly, if I'm him, I'm staying 20 feet away from you, because the first day that I make one mistake and you shoot me, I'm not gonna be happy. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I just thought it was really funny, and I don't do videos like this very often, but again, I thought it'd be kind of funny to come on here. Also, follow me on Twitter at RealJackTheBus if you want really actually good One Piece takes. This just blew my mind how out of control it got, and how many people need to be corrected on their view of Doflamingo as a character. Thank you, goodbye.